All right, what's up, guys? How's it going? I hope it's going a little better for you today than it is for me because I've got a headache, a bad one, but we're still pushing through. Anyways, today we're going to be doing a new one. It's also an old one. It is the French vanilla Verismo. I mostly got this because of my mom. My I love this coffee, to be fair, for myself as well. But my birthday is the 29th, and she's going to be visiting me during that time, taking me out to dinner. I don't have I don't have the Keurig working right now. Otherwise, I would have just gotten K cups. But I want to have this here so she can have some French vanilla coffee when she's in town. So that's why we got this. I'm gonna have it all opened up and enjoy some of it myself tonight. Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about the plan moving forward a little bit. I wanted to talk about that earlier, but we had to talk about the whole uh, sexual assault at Twitch and Twitch trying to cover it up scenario, which is fucked up and still has me pissed. And maybe that's part of the reason I have a headache today, because my headaches are usually stress triggered, you know? But oh, it's been a long day and it hasn't gone away. I have this. For whatever reason, I was like good for 1 week after I made the video talking about my own sexual assault experiences. But now I'm back to just going back and forth between being exhausted and having headaches. It feels like if I'm not chronically exhausted, I have chronic migraines. And it's really frustrating me. I am starting to reach the point where I feel like I should probably go talk to a doctor about it, but I don't know when I'm going to have the time. And I don't even know if I actually have health insurance right now. That's a whole can of worms I don't feel like unpacking right now. But now that we've got this coffee unpacked, let's go count out some scoops. We got one, two, three. This smells amazing. Four. Oh no, there was a little bit left in that scoop, and now it's on the floor. One more thing for me to clean up. Five. Last night on the stream, I knocked a bunch of plates off my desk and they all shattered, and I just finished cleaning those up. All right, so we have an incredibly light roast that is now brewing. It's right there in the light area. It is sweet and creamy. This French vanilla coffee offers flavors of sweet and creamy vanilla with subtle hints of almond. It is one of my favorites. I don't remember if I normally put sugar in it. I don't really have sugar or a sugary creamer right now. Oh, sorry, my headache is just getting to me. It's one of those ones that can feel in my temple all the way down to the back of my neck. No, there's a cat. What's up, Charlie? Oh, he's being super needy today, which is not helping my headache. I do have a creamer, but it's not one that I want to try yet. I'm going to try it in the Sumatra blend first because that's like a pretty standard one for me. Um, I've never done oat creamer before, but I got this one to try, and it's vanilla, so it might go well with it. I've got half and half and coconut milk, which I've mostly just been using right now. All right, so the plan for this week is to do the touch-up work on the basement, right? Uh, at this point, the paint is going to be not fully cured. I think it takes a whole month, but it's pretty solid. So I can start moving the things back. If I didn't have a headache, I would have already taken the paint, the tape off. But I just don't feel like getting down on my hands and knees tonight with a migraine. It's like worse when I put my head below my waist, you know? But I think it looks great. And so all I got to do is get down there and cut it with a razor. Otherwise, since it's latex paint, which it really shouldn't be, but we've already gone over that, it's going to peel the paint off. Normally, you want to pull the tape off as soon as you're done putting on the final coat, so you don't need to worry about that. But since it was floor paint and I can't hover across the floor like Titania Prime, I just had to wait until it was fully dry, and I'm gonna cut it off with a razor. I'm particularly excited about how this turned out because it was just bare, bare concrete, and it sucked up a lot of the paint. I'm glad that it looks pretty good. You can't even really see the spots where it was rusting through at all, like just a tiny bit right there. But I'm excited that it's done, right? I've got to move the shelves back that were over here. You can still see the screws where they were in the wall. And then all that needs to be done is like the touch up. At this point, it's obvious, even though I got the same color paint, that it's very clearly not exactly the same color. So I've got to go around and touch up the whole rest of the basement. And then at some point, I'm going to have to pull all the things out of the studio and do that too. But yeah, the basement's going to be done by the end of October easily. And then we're just up working on the rest of the house. I mean, not entirely done. Eventually, I'll want to get more of these wood panels here because as you can see, they just don't exist. I want to put soundproofing in here to make the studio better. And then I'm going to paint all these wood panel walls white to match the rest of everything. But I'm not worried about doing that right now. That's also why I didn't really care about taping off at the base of the walls, because I'm going to paint them white anyway. So it didn't matter if I got a little bit of gray on there, you know? But yeah, so that's all done. At this point, once I move all this stuff back and tape all that there, we're going to start working on these upstairs rooms. The dryer still isn't working, by the way. I don't know if you saw the things hanging there. That's just been 2 weeks of bullshit that's out of my control. So another thing to add stress. Probably not getting these headaches to go away until I just get this house done and get the fuck out of here at this point, you know? So the next thing we got to do is this room, right? This room won't be too hard. I just got to move the stuff I have stored in here out for now and paint it and probably just touch up the floor. I don't think I even need to refinish the floor. The difficult room is going to be the master bedroom, which eventually my parents are going to have a bed in here. The plan is for it to be around early to mid-spring, I think. Plans always change with them, and they aren't very good about keeping me updated on them. But there's some pretty bad water damage and stuff here on this floor. So I'm gonna need to sand it down to bare wood and restain it. But other than that, I think the rest of the room is in pretty good shape. The only room that really needs like actual work still, besides just painting and refinishing the floors, is the bathroom. The tub area needs a lot of work. I want to strip all the caulk and put new caulk in. I thought about making inappropriate jokes there, but my head just hurts too much, to be honest. And there's like shitty patch jobs the previous owner did. Like, this is going to be a real pain to fix properly. So I don't know. This needs painted and some of the patch fixed, and the shower's not that bad. It could be worse, but I want to take all the old caulk off. You can see there's some parts where it's just coming apart. I also want to replace this stupid ass handle with a regular one. It's terribly inefficient when it comes to water. And we're getting close. Hopefully it's all going to be done by spring, and I won't have to worry about this bullshit, and I can start working on my plans to move somewhere warmer that have been delayed by 2 years because I agreed to do this. Hindsight's 2020. Where's my coffee mug? Here it is. All right. So, interestingly enough, I want to talk. As far as like the content, we're still doing all that. It's just after I do the work, we go live for dinner. I'm still working on Warframe, but we're kind of coming up on the end of that. Not that I'm going to stop doing Warframe, by the way. My whole plan for that is to just have it to be our community game. I'm trying to rebuild. Sorry, the headache's getting to me. I can feel it in my eye, too. That's how I know it's a bad migraine, when I can feel it all the way in my eye. I want it to be our community game, It's one of those games that has very low barrier to entry. All you need to do is download and install it. And even though the learning curve is kind of insane compared to most MMOs, it's you don't need to know. It's not punishing at the beginning, There are some MMOs that if you don't know everything right from the beginning, then, or at least have a basic idea of how most things work right from the beginning, then you're going to struggle and you're not going to have fun. Warframe isn't like that. I feel the only thing that's kind of daunting for new players at the beginning is two things. The movement, would you log into a public squad, and the moment you log in, everyone else is just halfway across the map, and you're like, what is going on? They're just sprinting through, and I don't even know how to do that bullet jump thing they're doing yet. That's a little bit daunting for new players. I love when it gets dark early. I'm a big night fan. If it were up to me, I'd just kill the sun, and it would be night 100% of the time. But anyways, the other thing that's kind of daunting is being with those Warframes and watching them just insta-delete things that you can't even damage, really. You're like, bro, I unloaded a whole shotgun magazine into that, and I don't even know what they did. It just disappeared and exploded in front of me. So, it's like the ultimate power fantasy game in a lot of ways. And you put like an end game frame in a squad with a beginner, there's just absolutely no comparison. The only thing I really still need to do on that game is rank up the factions. Uh, and the only reason I still need to do that is because they have daily standing limits, right? So coming back to the game, there were new factions like the Hex I didn't originally have ranked up at all, and I've been grinding that out. Old factions that I never really fully ranked up just because I didn't feel like doing the grind at the time, like the Entrati. Because that was like basically the last time I played seriously was when Demos and the Entrati came out. Then I took a several year Blake break. I was doing like Destiny and other stuff like that during that time. But the goal right now is to finish maxing all of the factions. I got Solaris United done this week. And now I need to do Vox Solaris, but the problem with ranking Vox Solaris is you gotta do orbs. And the orbs are kind of a pain in the ass, so my plan to make that easier is to farm Site 09, which is the 1999 Hex Bounty frame, and he's got an ability that allows you to change the element that his weapons do. I was looking up most like Profit Taker orb builds, and they're a pain in the ass where you got to like mod each of your different weapons to do multiple types of damage. You basically need to build an entire frame just for doing Profit Taker. Or you can do the other one. Oh, I forget what the other one's called. But that one is annoying in its own way. So my plan, and the primary reason is because Profit Taker has these shifting shields that will only take damage from one type of element at a time. So I haven't seen anyone else talk about this yet. So I'm not entirely sure it would work because there's like entire websites devoted just to taking Profit Taker down, but maybe they're out of date. I'm just gonna farm Site 09 and then use his element changing ability to change the element to whatever type of shields Profit Taker has at that point. And then I'll farm Profit Taker to get the parts I need to rank Vox Solaris up. But yeah, the plan right now is to keep playing Warframe for like the rest of October, maybe into November a little bit. But I'm sorry, I'm just fighting the headache. The plan right now is to keep playing Warframe for a little bit just to get all those factions max, because I want to be able to do endgame stuff with whoever joins up, since that's going to be our primary stream community game. And it's one of the ones that's bad enough that it's giving me nausea. I hoped taking a long hot shower would get rid of it, but it only reduced it a little bit. Enough that I was able to make this VOD and probably stream for a little bit. but it's rough. Um, there are two things I can't do right now. And I found that out when I was trying to group up with a friend the other day that I'd run all kinds of content with. Um, Deep and Temporal Archimede, which is which are two endgame farms that you need to be max rank with. I think Cavia and the Hex to be able to do. So I just want to. I guess Profit Taker is kind of an endgame farm in a way. It was like before the current ones, but power creep and all that. Now it's just relatively easy as long as you have the proper build. Um, so I want to get all the factions ranked up to 5. That way I'm not gated from any of the content. And I'll still probably do Warframe a couple times a week. I want to set up a Warframe community day at some point, and I usually play it a little bit on my day off. That's when I end up grinding Duvari to do my Incarnon weapons, usually, if I haven't completed it yet on Saturday. So, wow. I want to get Mastery rank 30. I don't care about legendary ranks at all, which are what you get after you get Mastery rank 30. But I want to get Mastery rank 30. One, just for like the completion of it all, to say I did. And two, because then I can provide blessings to people in the relays. So while I'm still doing this Warframe content a lot, we're also going to be doing some Warframe farms because I'm kind of running out of weapons to grind Mastery rank on a little bit. And also, I need the Warframes to feed the helmet. And since it's going to be a community thing, I want to have at least played each Warframe up to rank 30, even if I didn't do endgame builds on it, so that when new people come into the community, or if people that are already in the community start playing Warframe, I can help them on whatever frame they're playing. Right now, I'm doing Limbo, and I hate Limbo. He's so annoying. It feels like you just have to constantly micromanage his abilities, and he's really powerful. Don't get me wrong. He can like trivialize a lot of the more difficult mission types like spy and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just too much micromanagement of the abilities, keeping track of which enemies are in the rift and which ones aren't. And you know, I just wake up with headaches right now. The last thing I need to do is have uh, a Warframe that has too tight of a top hat giving me a headache too. Last thing I wanted to talk about today is a dream I had. I'm still not sleeping very well. Hopefully, sometime soon, I can get a little bit of THC, and then the migraines and the insomnia won't be as bad. I don't really get them as much if I smoke like one time a week at least. I think it's basically the miracle plant. Um, you can even like make car bodies out of hemp, which is insane. Like people make fiberglass and ropes and clothing out of hemp. I don't think there's anything that plant can't do. But I had this dream where I had some friends of mine insist that I go to this like fancy event that had like a dinner or something. And it wasn't like, I feel like it was kind of like a networking event or a like an art show type thing. But the only part of the dream I really remember is like the dinner at the end where they like had us. It was just kind of like a fancy buffet, right? They had like a bunch of expensive meats and like random things. And I was with this friend and we were like getting our plates. I got my plate of food and the funny thing is this is going to be the title of the video, but it's all the way at the end of the video. So anyone that watches this that isn't familiar with me is going to be fucking lost the entire time. I feel like that's how most people probably feel when they watch most of my videos, though. Because I'm just fucking out there. And don't worry, I'm aware of it. I'm very self aware. I just give zero fucks at all at this point. And I feel like this dream absolutely demonstrates why. So, me and my friend, we got our food and we were looking for a place to sit. And I should have gone with my instinct, but I was too polite. I saw this like basically empty table that had like a couple of weird loners at it, and my instinct was just to like go take the opposite side of that table, go sit down there. But I deferred to my friend. I was like, "Where do you want to sit?" And so they pointed over at this table that had like a couple of other people I sort of knew. Some of them were friends, some of them were just people that I was acquainted with, but not actually friends. It was like kind of sort of a little bit crowded, but I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Let's go sit there. So we go over there and nobody lets me sit down, right? Every single seat is reserved for someone. And my friend that like I'm standing with doesn't stick up for me at all. They just sit down because they're apparently welcome at this table, but I'm not. And I'm sitting there and like more people keep coming and it gets to the point where we're even like shuffling tables around to like, connect them together, make a big long group. And yet, no matter how many seats we add, there's still not a place for me. So I'm like, whatever, fuck it. I'll just go sit with the loner weirdos. And at that point, that table is full now too. So, not being able to find a place anywhere, I just go, you know what? I'll make a place for myself. There's not any regular tables left, but there's kind of like this end table and this like couch type thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to set down the I'm just going to go move this end table to the couch and I'll eat by myself there. That couch looks kind of comfy, anyways. Way more comfier than like the kind of fold out cafeteria chairs. Hey, kitty. He wants to go outside, but yeah, give me a second. Oh, now he just wants to cuddle. If only I had Charlie with me, he wouldn't have abandoned me, right, kitty? So, um, I get this little end table moved over. I'm gonna eat on the couch by myself, and I turn around and my food is gone. And so I ask my friends, I'm like, what happened to my food? And it's like, oh, they took it. I'm like, what do you mean they took it? You didn't say anything? And they're just like, well, you shouldn't have set it down. It's just like, at that point, I was kind of so defeated that I just put my face into my hands and laid down on the floor. And nobody even fucking cared. In fact, I could like kind of hear them talking. I wasn't listening, but I knew they were talking shit on me the whole time. And it's like they were the ones that did this to me, right? I didn't even want to go to that event in the first place. I only went because my friends begged me to. And I didn't even want to sit with this group of people. I was going to go sit in a spot that would have been perfectly fine, wouldn't have caused any problems, but I deferred to my friends, and then I wasn't even welcome with them. They all fucked me over, and then when they fucked me over, let random strangers take my food and didn't even stick up for me or anything. They just left me there on the floor, starving. And that wasn't even the worst part of it. The worst part was after they did all this shit to me and then let the other thing happen to me, they were talking shit on me for it when I'd done all this to accommodate them in the first place because I'd never even wanted to fucking go. And I feel like that's kind of just been a huge metaphor for my entire life, where it's just like my friends and even my family in a lot of situations. I've always done all these things I can to help them, and it feels like they just fuck me over and then talk shit on me for being hungry when they're the reason I'm starving, basically. And this is why I don't trust anyone anymore. This is why I literally give zero fucks about anything. And I just say whatever comes to mind because the way I look at it, the world is such an evil and disgusting place at this point that I don't even care about strays. You know, as far as I'm concerned, anyone can get it. I don't really trust anyone at all at this point. And it may not necessarily seem like that because I'm a very welcoming individual with my content and my streams, but there's a difference between letting people into the room and inviting them to sit at your table. You know, uh, anyone can show up and watch, but I've reached a point in my life where if you are going to sit down at the table, you need to actually bring something to the table. And It's because for my entire life there was an open invitation to sit down. But all that ever resulted in was a bunch of people that I loved and I thought loved me back, taking everything I had and then leaving me with nothing and then talking shit on me for having nothing. So that doesn't happen anymore. You know, I've got immense barriers, and just wait till you see some of the songs I've been writing. You know, I've got a lot of shit to say, and I feel like the best way to say that is through music. I can't wait till I have this damn studio done because the whole there I still need to kind of put up some sound treatment behind the microphone. It's fine for streaming, but not great for recording music because there's too much of an echo. And I'm just gonna pin some blankets to the wall once I'm done with the rest of the basement. Some of the blankets are actually in that room I showed you guys that I'm going to be working on next. So when I pick up those blankets, I'm just going to, while they're in my hands, like tape them or nail them to the wall or whatever I got to do to get them up there so we can deaden the sound a little more and actually get ready to start recording music. And then once I have all the renovations done, the time that I spend doing these renovations for my parents, I'm going to instead spend making music for myself, right? Which is what I've always wanted to do, really, with my life, was to make music. But I've spent my entire life catering to other people just to get fucked over by them. So I don't really do that anymore. This is kind of the last thing I'm doing for someone else. It's so my parents have a place to come back to if they ever move back into the country, and also so whenever they visit and stuff like that. But I really can't wait to be gone out of this house. And I'm hoping that when I'm done with this and can just get a regular job again, which probably we're going to talk about this in November, but there's reasons why. But uh, it's going to be interesting to see how I can hold down a job with these fucking migraines and stuff, but we'll see what happens. Um, I'm tougher than 90% of. I don't like saying I'm tough, but at this point, I've been through so much shit that it's like every time I end up working a regular job, whether it's just like the restaurant when I was in the kitchen or whatever, like everyone just feels like incompetent, whiny, useless pieces of shit. I don't do well in society anymore. And maybe it's just my ego, but I swear to God, so many humans are just actually worthless, brain dead NPCs. And I find it so frustrating to have to engage with them at all. So they will like complain about the most fucking annoying shit. And like, meanwhile, I'm like showing up to work with a migraine and not even saying anything about it. And their constant bitch ass complaining is just making my headache worse. I'm like, God, why do I have to exist in this godforsaken world? Just like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore, you know? But I just put my nose to the grindstone and keep going because I don't really know what else to do at this point. I just know I can't give up. So I also know that no one else is going to pick me up because clearly all the people I love are willing to just let me lay there on the floor starving. Won't even stop someone else for taking my food when I turn my back for 2 seconds. So I am going to pick myself up. I'm going to walk away from all of them and go find my own food, because that's all I can really do. I'm going to go make a pizza and get the stream started because it takes forever to upload anything with this shit ass internet. I'll be live or may even be done with the stream today by the time you see this. But I am live on both Kick and Twitch every Sunday through Thursday evening while I eat dinner. And then if I don't fall asleep on stream like I did last stream, I actually had a moment of like micro sleep on stream yesterday. I was so exhausted. And I don't even know what happened. I was talking about the factions in Warframe, and then I totally blacked out. And I like woke back up. And what I was saying, I'm pretty sure I was just talking gibberish, you know? So I was like, shit, I gotta end stream and just go to sleep. And today I woke up with a migraine. I'm sure tomorrow I'll wake up with the chronic exhaustion again, but who knows? Maybe once winter's over, I'll have this all done, or at least the parts I can do, and I'll be able to like go see a doctor and figure this out. I think the big thing I need to do that I want to work back into my schedule is weightlifting. I'm hoping that will bring my energy levels back up, but who knows? Just doing what I can to survive at this point. Um, yep, I'm going to go make some food and hop on stream. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I love all of you. And God bless America.